help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. And opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to BIB Radio. It is February 9th, 2017, and the anniversary of BIB Radio. So I want to say happy anniversary to my co-host, Robert 11X. Are you there?
Yes, I am, CC, and I want to say happy anniversary to you as well.
Yes, and we want to both say thank you to Scotty for us being able to be on this network for 1 year. We are super excited about that. And I think that we've been able to get better and stronger, and we're going to hope to do that here in the future, too.
Well, happy anniversary to both
and while
of you.
we're there, I really want to say happy birthday to you, CC. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, CC, the real infopreneur.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait, Scotty, you there? You're trying to say something.
Hey, man, that was real sweet, man. You know, hey, and he can carry a tune. I didn't know that, Robert. But yeah,
yes.
Happy birthday, CC, and happy anniversary to BIB Radio. Has it been a year already? I'm just so glad that you all take the time out to put together a program and contact people to bring on so that they can disseminate information in the area of business and entrepreneurialism. So just thank you. Wow. Here's to another year.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you. Cheers to you both. I'm so excited to be on the program tonight. Of course, we want to encourage everyone to support Black Talk Radio Network. We have the opportunity for you all to donate to the blacktalkmediaproject.org. Please do that. But tonight's show, Robert, oh my gosh, we got 3 guests tonight. I'm like, we might need 3 hours, but no, we're gonna get it all together today. I'll tell you what happened. I'm reaching out and contacting people all the time, and people agree to come on the show. But then if I don't hear from them, I'm like, okay, let me cover my bases. So then that happened to me. One of the people called me back and said, oh, okay, well, here's my information. And I didn't want to turn her away or put her on another week. So today we're going to have 3 guests. And let me tell you about them. Okay, tonight is Miss Tonisha Dawson. She's been leading and helping people to change their lives over the last 15 years. She teaches weekly courses, studies on life-changing topics, runs an interactive life coaching group, and also helps women to rebuild and regain their self-esteem through various methods that she has acquired over the years. Life coaching, and she's a certified Reiki Master. She also holds a certification from the National Association of Christian Counseling as a certified spiritual advisor. She also has authored 6 books. And she is, let's see, got another book coming out here pretty soon, and I'll let her tell us about that. Then after that, we have the wonderful Miss Ebony Archer out of Chicago, Illinois. And at the age of 4, she started singing in her church where her gift was discovered. In the year of 2000, Ebony joined Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago at the age of 8. With this, doesn't that sound crazy? In the year 2000, she was 8. Oh my God. She's a youngin'. Wow. What do you say? Okay. Ebony joined Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago at the age of 8. With this group, Ebony has sung in front of audiences of ranging numbers and has shared the stage with many famous names in the industry, such as Yolanda Adams, R. Kelly, Celine Dion, Nick Carter, and the list continues. In the year 2001, Ebony Archer was featured in R. Kelly's video, The World's Greatest. In the year 2012, Ebony was the runner-up in the national anthem competition for Black Girls Run with over 40,000 votes. Through the musical experiences, vocal training, and learning how to have great stage presence, it has molded Ebony into a gifted singer, and because of her inspiring voice, she is now known as the Inspirer. Wow. So then our last guest will be engaging in a conversation with Miss Janelle Smith, who is a U.S. veteran, who has become instrumental in ensuring that business runs slowly and effectively according to the business policies for the people that she's worked for. So you'll listen to Robert 11X and myself, Coach Janelle, on her goal concerning independence from the workplace and her pathway to entrepreneurship. In other words, she would like to get off the plantation. And believe me, people, I've known her for a little while. She's very, very equipped to get off the plantation. So I'm excited to help her with this procedure. So without further ado, let's see here. Robert, do you have anything to say in the intro?
Oh, no, I'm just ready to get right into it. It sounds like a powerful lineup you got.
Yes. So what I'm hoping to do is kind of do a little tag team all around. Like our first guest, she definitely can have some inspiring words for Janelle. So if Janelle can come on early, that would be great. So I'm going to text her right now and tell her, okay, come and listen. So I'll tell her to come listen. But we're going to let our first guest in, there she is. She's there. Miss Tonisha Dawson. I believe she is calling in from, let's see, Tonisha, I don't know what number you're calling in from. I think it's the 919. Yep, I think that's her, if I remember correctly. All right, so without further ado, let's bring on Miss Tonisha. Hello, who do we have on the line? Hello? Okay, that isn't her. Oh, let me message her. Let's see. Robert, why don't you go ahead and give us some commentary of something that's been going on in business this week while I try to get hold of Miss Dodson.
Well, I certainly can do that. We just want to keep everybody updated with the progress of Jag Laundry Detergent. See, we host the show, but we got a little different twist to what we do. We not only host a business radio show.
Hold on, wait, real quick.
Go ahead.
Guests, when you come on, hit star so I can see that you need to be recognized. I forgot about that. Go ahead, Robert. I'm sorry.
Now, we not only host a business talk show, but we actually are in business, and that's the thing for us that I would assume that any other talk show that talk about business or people or those hosts, I would assume that they are actually in business. But you can't always assume that. It's just like when you go to college and you're being taught business by a professor. 9 times out of 10, none of those professors have ever been involved in the actual business themselves. So we at BIB Radio, we are actually entrepreneurs who have a wealth of experience. I myself, over 22 years. CC's been doing it for quite a few years herself. So you're looking at possibly almost 40 years of entrepreneurship between me and CC together. And we really like to, aid and assist our people with the correct information. And that's why I called her the infopreneur. This woman really can get information that a lot of people need, myself as well. We talk about trade shows, how businesses definitely need to go to the trade show. And on that subject, we're me, CC, my son, and you might as well call him my other son. We are leaving out of here in March, headed to Las Vegas. This will be their first time ever going to a real major trade show, world-renowned trade show, I should say. This trade show is going to have vendors and people from all over the planet Earth coming right to Las Vegas for all types of merchandise. It's the ASD trade show, General Merchandise Trade Show. And for me, it's a historic event in my life because I have my queen going with me. I have my son going with me, or sons going with me, and this is all for the first time, and it's actually a really, really good feeling to have people that you love involved in the process of creating wealth, and it's a learning experience. I mean, it's something that for the senior entrepreneur, when you're teaching young folks to become entrepreneurs, or you're guiding them to not make the certain mistakes, you really have to be patient. But this thing is a really, really big event for us as a family first, as entrepreneurs, and I advise anybody that's in business to look up trade shows in the industry that you are in, whatever it is, radio, electronics, it doesn't matter, dogs, pets, pet grooming, whatever. There's a trade show. I'm almost certain that there's a trade show for those industries, and the importance of that trade show is like you getting the direct information from the people who have succeeded the most in that industry. Those are the people who usually are going to be at the trade shows, the top players in the industry. You get a chance to actually shake their hands, have conversation, dialogue with them, ask them questions. Why? Because they want their products to be in your store, so they treat you as a customer the same way you treat the public as customers and wanting them to come in your store. These CEOs want you to buy their product to sell to the customer. So when they see you, they looking at your badge and say, "Oh, how you doing, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so and so-and-so?" You like, "Who, you talking to me?" And yes, he's talking to you. Yes, Russell Simmons is greeting you, speaking to you. Sean Puffy Combs is speaking to you. So that's the significance of a trade show. You're getting to meet the top players in the industry. They're going to willingly wants to shake your hand and will invite you out to dinner. And if you can't grow beyond that, just the experience alone, the setups in the booths, the way they set their booths up, is just an educational institution where when you go there, your eyes will be looking at how they utilize space. And these are the type of things, when you come back home in your business, you then learn that every square inch of your environment is valuable real estate. And it's just little things like that you wouldn't even think about, you actually get to see at these trade shows, and it inspires your mind to actually come back home. You may even look at the color of the way that they got it set up, the different colors that they use. I go to Vegas and I look at doors on restaurants, just to see how it appeals to my eye, how it captures my eye, and it automatically makes me want to come home and repaint something the buildings that I'm in. So these are the type of things that entrepreneurs must do. in order to go to the next level of what the industry that you're in. So right now what we got going on is our focus on several things. We recently was blessed to purchase a 24-foot truck. And I had no idea I would be entertaining the trucking industry, but now that I'm doing a little homework, hey, those guys make a lot of money, and you can't limit yourself when you're an entrepreneur.
Right.
The thing up is become a business owner.
Well, I agree with that. Just like today, like now, you're talking about the truck. We were at one of the, I don't know what kind of big box store, I guess that's what you would consider it, but they have an opportunity to be a trucker for their company. Now, you would be independently contracted, but I thought that was like a wonderful thing right there, because we'd been in that store before and we looked at that and I was like, oh, okay, you got to have your own truck. But then a month later, you got your own truck. So I'm like, wow, look at how those things just come together.
Right. And you saw that when I didn't pay no attention, but you saw that. And that was, man, that's another thing about having a great partner when you're in business. Your team is very important. So, Cece, we were in the Menards today, and as we were exiting, I'm talking to a guy, and I'm like, why is she standing at this counter so long? And when I get through talking to the guy and go investigate what's going on, she's handling her business. I mean, there it is. The opportunity to become an independent driver for this company, make deliveries. Why wouldn't we be interested in that? I mean, we got a big old 24-foot truck now, and it doesn't stop the business at hand. Actually, it's going to enhance what we're already doing. We're going to be able to go and pick up big quantities of soap now. So, I mean,
absolutely. And that's the thing, as you, okay. I'm laughing because this radio thing can be so funny sometimes. We're waiting for our guest and she says that she's on and I don't see her anywhere on here. Sorry, Tonisha, I don't know where you are. Oh, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. How did you even get unmuted? I don't understand what's going on here. I'm so confused. Like, you are not showing up on my board at all.
Oh, no. But I am here.
Oh, my gosh. Well, how are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you.
Oh, man. We are so excited here at BIB Radio, myself and my co-host, Robert 11X Minor, who is on the phone, the man that you heard talking. We're so excited for you to be here with us and for you to tell us what led you into entrepreneurship, and of course, first, what it is that you do. We read the introduction, but we'd like to hear it from you.
Okay, so as of now, I have a couple of things that I am doing. My main focus right now is empowering women. So that's a big part of my purpose, and so I do that along with holistic life coaching. I've written several books within the past year. All of those happened within the past 2 years. So I'm actually just elevating what I've already been doing for so many years, but just taking it to another level, so to speak, just something different.
Okay. Now, in reading your bio and information, my goodness, I mean, you're doing so much. Like you said, you've written several books, and I know that you have a book coming out soon. So why don't you tell us about that book?
Okay, so as I've been coaching a lot of people and, just randomness, friends, family members. My parents are actually relationship coaches, so I credit a lot of my information to them. I've been under their wing probably since I was about 19. But, it's a different genre now at this age than it was when my parents were growing up. And although they're not old at all, things now are just different because we have different avenues. We have online dating. We have social media. Like the things that we go through now in relationships, they have not had to go through in their relationship coming up. So now there's just different dynamics. So I think I'm kind of like a fresh wave of what they've had to offer. And so I wrote a book called Women Stop the Madness. Now, that mainly was for women of color, just because we all know how we can get as women of color. And the basis of the book is how to not run away the man of your dreams. And so I went into a lot of principles and a lot of things that are unorthodox that, Black women have kind of thrown by the wayside, or women of color, and just, learning how to treat a man and what what you can bring to the table to help him pretty much as a Black man in this society. You want to be his rest and his relief. You don't want to be his headache when he gets home. And so now my new book is, Guys, Please Just Listen Up. And that book is basically all for men, all about, talking to men about the innermost needs of women, what we would like, what we require, but some of the things that, we tell our girlfriends and we tell our friends, but we don't necessarily get a chance to tell you because we like you to kind of already know. But you don't. So it's sad. So at this point, those are going to be my two premier books because those are where my heart are, and it's where I do the most of my speaking on. I do a lot of speaking into relationships, and not just relationships for husband and wife or couples, but just interpersonal relationships, period. A lot of people are lacking in personal relations, and then they don't understand why things in life happen to them in such a way, and it's basically because they don't have a good grasp on interpersonal relationships.
Right. Well, let me go back to something that you said. You said we know how we can get as women of color. Now, I want to know exactly what you mean by that. What do you mean how we can get as women of color?
Well, certain times, have you ever heard the statements of we are women in general, period. This is all women are emotional. That's right. Just we have that. That's a part of our makeup. That is the yin to the yang. It's full of emotional energy, and when positively channeled, it works wonders for your life. If you are not in that positive channel, it will only draw in negativity to your life.
Right,
so,
right.
Sometimes, as women of color, we allow our emotions to drive the things away that we actually really want, just based on, and there's a lot of factors, growing up, possibly just the lot in life that we have had, single parenthood. We've had a lot of that. We've had a lot of broken homes. We've had a lot of bad neighborhoods. This is not our fault. This is the fall of our economy and things that have happened for us as Black people that we are trying to climb out of to this day. But because we've had a harder struggle just in general, sometimes we can be a little bit on the more emotionally aggressive side, or even at work, just random things, situations. We can be, before we give it a chance to figure out what it exactly is, we're already on 10 sometimes. Now,
well, hold on. Let me interrupt you really quick there. I like what you said further back when you attributed this to all women, and I kind of think that that's what it is, period, because I hear a stereotype a lot about, I don't really know about the women of color, but Black women, being angry and not nurturing and not know how to care for a man. And I agree that we have some issues because of childhood and this and that, but I really, really think that it's all women, because as we look at it and we dissect it and we look at the news and the media and things that are on Facebook, we clearly see that it's not just women of color or Black women that can be aggressive or angry. I see some really vile situations with white women, Mexican women, Asian women, or, you know, what have you. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
My book does not, and actually the cover of my book, someone suggested that I change it because it was not black women on the cover. It was a woman yelling into a man's ear and his face kind of just blowing off. And it's just, it was actually a white woman on the cover. So it's not really based on women of color. Women, period, can have a certain way that we handle situations that are not conducive for the results that we want.
I absolutely agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like if I say that I want to spend more time with my husband, or I would like my husband to spend more time with me, but now when he comes into the house, instead of sitting down and saying, you know, honey, I would like to spend more time, like, can we do some more things? Now I'm slamming cabinets, and I want him to ask me what's wrong, and then when he asks me, I say nothing, and then, you know, we start a whole cycle of him being like, I don't really know exactly what's wrong because you want me to know what's wrong, but I don't know what's wrong. So the book delves into all of that, and the first thing that it talks about is the difference in energy between men and women. Like men and women equals apples and oranges. We are so different. It's amazing that we can coexist together without doing serious damage to one another because we are just that different. We think with different sides of the brain. We do things differently. We act out differently. And if we don't, and the key is just understanding the other party. That's all.
I agree.
If you have an understanding of what this person does, and just in general, like there are certain things that are they could be personal to your person, but there are a lot of things where men are just hardwired kind of the same way, and a lot of women are just hardwired the same way. So if you can grasp those basics already, then you can deal with the individual quirks of your own mate or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever it is that they are. The book gets way into depth into that, just masculine and feminine energy, period, and how the energies just operate differently and how they get things done. And it also goes into a little bit of how you can manifest different things for your relationship in a spiritual manner. So it gets into all of that, the book is not humongous. The book is 10 chapters.
Okay.
But they're all very straight-laced and to the point.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, I have two questions because I'm trying to get better at, instead of forgetting my question, write them down. So I have, a couple questions. Now, a little further back, you mentioned how women were sort of aggressive at the job. If there's a problem, they kind of just, get angry and get into it. And I want to tie that to the fact that there is definite workplace racism that people have to deal with, and that's one reason why we have this show, so that we can help men and women, not of color, black women, black men. Anybody can listen, but this show is catered to black men and black women that would like to get off of that work plantation. No offense to anybody who chooses to be there, but for those that want to get off and not have to deal with workplace racism, because it is definitely there, they can come to this program and get guidance. So, that's why we have this. And I wanted to ask you too, because you've written these books, that's so commendable that you've actually done this. And you're a busy woman. Talking to you, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm I'm overwhelmed by listening to you. But so can you tell us where it is that you've gotten your research concerning, men and women and their energies and that type of thing?
Well, I said my parents were relationship coaches already. And so a lot of my information came from them. But my parents were Christians, and they are Christian. They were Christian counselors. They still are, but they're more relationship coaches now than they are Christian counselors. They've just evolved that ministry for themselves. And then once I got certified by the National Association of Christian Counseling when I was 22 years old. So that was my first certificate in counseling and in talking to people one-on-one. And then as I got older, I added more things to my
Welcome to Staples.
Staples Guide. This year I'm preparing my own taxes.
Good for you.
Yep, I'm going to be accountable.
Right. Well, Staples can help with storage and filing supplies, plus software like QuickBooks and TurboTax.
Go on. You have my interest.
Life coaching, relationship coaching was very big in that. And metaphysics is the basis of metaphysics is just intertwining spirituality and science and putting it all together to make it make sense for you. So it's really just getting you on your spiritual journey and how you can live the best life possible for yourself and manifest the results that you like to see. Just knowing that you have that power inside of yourself. Instead of looking outwardly, it causes you to look inwardly on all levels, so that you can create the life that you want. You can manifest the life that you want. You have to really, truly believe that and honestly know that. My husband's been an entrepreneur since he was 15. My husband has never worked for another man a day in his life.
Wow.
And I doubt that will ever happen to him.
Wow, that's powerful right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Robert, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
I know he's over there.
When I tell you, I mean, you guys can interview him. He's not here right now, but because he's at the studio working. But he has not had an ideal childhood. He has not had a silver spoon in his mouth. He grew up in a single abusive home. And if you look at his statistic, he should be in jail or dead by now. But instead, he overcame that and became one of the most powerful men that I literally can say that I have ever known. He gets the highest, utmost regard and respect for me, knowing who he is, knowing what he came from, and just knowing his capability with my life, legitly.
Wow.
And that is very hard for a person, not hard, but it's very hard for a person to get that position in my life.
Wow. Well, it sounds like he is a great inspiration for your entrepreneurial endeavors. I mean, I am so happy for you.
He does not like me working for anyone. And when I met him, I actually worked for him. And he was like, yeah, we got to get you out of here working for me. But then he married me. So so I guess, hey, it ended up working itself out. But he was a big inspiration in my entrepreneurship. He was always just telling me that you could do it. And there's no excuse. And the one thing that I can say that helped me become an entrepreneur is the fact that he had no fear about money. He would always say, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, and if you're doing what you love to do, money will find its way to you. Money will always come. So if you worry about money, you won't make money. So you have to be able to step out on some type of faith to know that, listen, if it's in you and this is what you're happiest doing, the money will come. The money will form. Money is only an idea. And in the end, if you don't need money, you need resources. If your rent needs to get paid, it doesn't matter whether you have the money for your rent. It matters that you know the person in charge that can help you with your rent.
Right.
And when I tell you that I've had such a crazy, awesome manifestation of 2016, when everybody say they was drowning in 2016, I'm like kicking my heels up for 2016.
Right.
Because in my apartment, I ended up having a apartment manager that legitly was like knew my situation, and I think I probably went half a year without paying a dime in rent.
Oh, listen, I can totally resonate with that. I was I was going through a situation, now it's almost a year and a half ago, and I just happened to speak to this gentleman at a Krispy Kreme, and he said he and his wife are moving out of the state. And I just asked him, I said, well, are you going to rent out your house? Are you going to sell it? And he was like, possibly. Well, a week later, I ended up moving in that house, but I lived there for a whole year for free.
Awesome. See, I love stories like that because
I definitely know about that. I definitely know about that.
It's absolutely possible. But if you have that type of faith, just knowing that all you have to be is in the right place at the right time, talking to the right person, So just be led, always. Always listen to your inner self, you know, just always go with the flow of life and with the appreciation of life and with the joy of life, and everything will end up making its way to you. And it sounds a little fluffy because it does get hard. It's not easy. But at the same time, what's also not easy is going into a job where they don't want you there, or going into a job where, I mean, part-time, I still work at a spa. And it's only because I like doing it. I don't want to open my own spa. That I don't want to do. So I love servicing women. I love servicing mothers, people who don't get touched on a regular basis. But now, yeah, that season of my life is also going to be over, because now that our office has changed, now I am experiencing racism. So I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to. I don't make enough money there I'm doing it because I like it, not because it pays my bills. So now that season's up for me. And, you know, when people come in and they start saying, "Oh, your name's Tonisha?" I don't know if I'm going to remember that. You're going to have to help me. Is that your real hair? Are those twists? Or, listen, yeah, I don't need that. So here's the thing. I'm not going to be there probably past the next 2 weeks, just because that's not something you should have to deal with when you go to work, which 90% of us are. That's what's going on now. You know, I wear African cow shell earrings, and I legitimately had a woman say, "Oh, those are beautiful earrings. Are you, like, African?" I was like, "Oh, no, I'm not from Africa, but, you know, oh, they're pretty. I could never wear those, but you know what? You have a really long neck, so you could probably hold them up." Wait, did you just insult me while I'm servicing you? And now I have to, like, smile through it? Yeah, this is not going to be okay anymore. So, you know, and honestly, I work at an all-white establishment because I am an esthetician, and there's not many black estheticians, not in our area. I'm one of the only ones. So, all-white place, all-white clients, and I am the only black face that you will see when you come in there, and I stand out, you know. So it's starting to be a little bit, you know, just a little bit blatantly open racism, to the point where my bosses are actually apologizing to me for the things that people are saying while I'm there. So, you know, my husband, once again, I told him that story, and he's like, "Yeah, well, you won't be there because you don't need to." So, you know.
Wow.
Now we're campaigning. We're getting ready to teach at a relationship conference February 25th. It's a Valentine's Day conference, and we're going to be teaching there at a nice resort and spa where there's going to be massages given and a live band, and you know, and we're kind of spinning our life back off, you know, more so in that direction, as opposed to now working with our hands, which both of our jobs were working with our hands.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
You hear me?
Yeah, everybody, yes. I hear both of you.
Okay, perfect. No, because the computer started doing something very odd. I was sitting here listening, and I know she's waiting for me to break in. But anyway, you know what? And it's so sad that we have to go through these things on the workplace. But at the same time, you have to teach other women that it is actually expected. Now, does it mean that it's justified and you shouldn't expect for it to be taken care of? No, it doesn't mean that, but just expect it, because workplace racism definitely does exist.
It's prevalent. Absolutely.
I was talking to Robert's daughter this morning. Well, one of his daughters. One of his daughters is here. She's here. But she was talking to me this morning, and she told me that a girl on her job had the nerve to say to a black man that pulled out some money, "Oh, do you sell drugs?" Yeah. It's
okay.
Like, wait a minute. Now, I work here just like you do, and because I have money with me, you want to say, do I sell drugs?
Now? Okay.
Right. Right. I mean, that is just some blatant stuff right there. And then they act like bubbleheads, like, oh, I didn't know I was saying anything wrong. And it's like, okay. It's like, okay.
Yes, you did.
It's just sick, disgusting, and I can't deal with it, and that's why I'm here. But I am so glad that you're here. Now, you and your husband do this counseling. You said you're having a retreat coming up?
Yes, it's we're not the retreat. We're not hosting this retreat. We are hosting one in the summer, but this one we're just guest speakers at the retreat. So we're going to be speaking on relationships, and we don't even know what we're speaking on yet. I asked him the other day. He's like, yeah, it comes to me. I'm like, listen, I don't work that way. I need to know what we're talking about. But we're doing separate workshops anyway, so I'll end up just, picking out probably a chapter from my book and addressing one of those issues or topics from the book.
Well, I gotta ask you, and this is like, because I'm all in with you in what you're doing. Let me just say, I'm very proud of you and your husband.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
I'm proud of your husband for overcoming because of these different issues that we have as Black people. Yes. For him to be an entrepreneur as early as the age of 15 and never have worked a job, and then be able to help and guide you into your endeavors and entrepreneurialism is just, man, I'm so proud of you all, and I can't wait to see you pursue your dreams even more and more. Hopefully we'll be able to connect
absolutely
on a deeper level, because we consider everybody that comes on here as friends. But what I wanted to say is you said that your mother and your father were Christian counselors, and then you got your Christian counseling degree, but then you became, a Reiki master. Is that how you say
yes.
Reiki or Reiki? Reiki master.
Yes.
So how did you marry those two together? Because they're very different. Because Reiki, in traditional Christian life, would be considered witchcraft.
Absolutely, it is. But when you become that evolved in spirituality, you end up understanding that a lot of the things that are taught in Christian church, they're not wrong, they're just limiting.
Yeah.
If you look and study other spiritual concepts, religions, you realize that they're all the same. They all have the same basic premise. But because when you're a Christian, you study what you study. But I needed more. And I mean, when I tell you I am like a Bible scholar, I am. I've been one since I was about 19. And I started to realize that there was more out there. And there was, and I was covering a part of myself that was always there since I was a little girl. And so I had to explore other avenues, and my parents didn't like it at first, but now they are 100% on board with my walk, because they see it. They see the manifestation in my life. They see the joy that I have. They see the ideas. And my parents were not a traditional Christian church. They were very non-denominational, so they didn't have certain criteria, and they were very very word-based. So it wasn't like traditional. It was more letting you understand that you have the power to create your own life. So I'm not far off from what my parents were teaching anyway. But as I began to study, my mother heals people with her hands all the time. But once I recognized that there were certain blockages that you have to understand that you might have, emotional blockages, mental blockages, physical blockages, and when those are released, then you have more power within yourself, and you have more power within yourself to actually ignite power in other people as well. So Reiki, in a sense, is the only thing Reiki does is promote relaxation so that the body can heal itself, which is ultimately what God created our bodies to do anyway. But because of emotional, mental, and physical blockages, our bodies don't always heal themselves as readily as they could, because of the food that we consume, because of the stress level of our life, because of, just our bodies are ran tired. We don't get enough sleep. Something as simple as not getting enough sleep will cause your body to not heal as fast as it can. So all
Absolutely.
Reiki does is promotes relaxation. But the power does not come from me. It's just a channel. It's universal energy. That's all it is. And we all converse universal energy every day of our lives. You ever go into a room and say, ooh, you don't like the vibe in that room?
Right.
It's because of the energy and the vibrations of the people that inhabit the room that you're feeling. So we transmit and transmute energy all the time. It's just that we're ignorant that we're doing it. We don't know. We don't realize that that's what's going on. You can, walk into a room and realize, I'm not really comfortable around this person. They didn't do anything. They didn't say anything. It's a vibe that's emitting off of them and transferring to you, and you don't like the way it feels. So our bodies are instinctual, and they're created to protect us, to love us, and to bring us to a higher level.
I absolutely believe that. It's funny because today I was at the physical therapist because I was in a car accident. Matter of fact, I'm in a car accident every year. But I was at the oh man, that's another show. But I was at the physical therapist, and there's a older woman there with her grandson, and he was crying and crying and crying. And we were in a white environment, and so they're looking like, oh, why is this happening? Whatever, just really having a rough time with it. And the receptionist was trying to comfort the baby, but he was continuously crying. And the receptionist, I've heard her say more than once how she was in disgust because her children were out of school and what was she going to do with them. So I'm looking like, okay, this baby knows that this woman doesn't even like children. So he's going to continue to cry. And he did. He kept crying and crying. Yep. And Robert saw him, he was like, I saw how that baby was like not even trying to get with this lady, but I knew it because she has expressed disgust for her own children. That baby could feel that energy and vibration that she was giving off, and he was just like not having it. It was so crazy. And see, the children, I think that they have a great power.
Higher sense.
Yeah, I mean they do, because to me they just came from the Father, so they are just totally into the way that we're not uncorrupted. Right.
Uncorrupted. So, they don't have faulty perceptions. All they feel and sense is pure energy, and that's all they'll know. But as you get more in tune with you, and more in tune with your inner self, and more in tune with the God that literally lives inside of you, then you will begin to have those same exact feelings, those same exact emissions of energy and transmutations of energy. And understand, literally, there are times where my husband and I don't have to say a word because we already know. And I'm not talking about because we've lived together for 10 years. I'm talking about because we have cultivated this gift so well that I will literally speak to him without speaking to him. I'll be like, you know what? I want flowers this week. Let me do a test and see if I can get him to go into my mind and see if he'll bring those flowers.
Oh, wow.
And I'll wait, and literally 6 days later I'll come home and there's flowers on the table, or he'll give me flowers, and I'll say, oh, look at me, look at what I just did. And I do that constantly. The other day my husband came into the house and he said, I have 3 numbers in my head. He named the 3 numbers, and he was like, tell me what they are. And I said, he said, don't think about it, just say it, because you're not going to know. But you do know, because we know all things. We just have to cultivate it. So just spew it out. What are the numbers? And he was like, just say it. And I was hesitating, like trying to figure it out. And finally I said, tire measurements. And he was like, you got it. Why did I even think that they were tire measurements? I've never changed the tire. I've never looked at a tire number. I don't know what they look like, because he does all that.
Wow.
We test one another like that all the time, just to make sure that we keep our spiritual gifts intact.
Well, that is very important. Now, what I would like to know is, how is it that you can empower entrepreneurs that are listening to this program? Because there are a lot of people that definitely need guidance. And so how could you help them on their plight? I mean, because you have a lot already before you. So if they would like to contact you and make that happen, how can you help them?
Well, personally, I mean, myself, my husband and I, we do business coaching, we do personal coaching, and we do life coaching. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and I do have a mentorship program that I developed 6 years ago. Basically, it was about the beauty industry because that was the industry that I was in. But then I realized that principles are principles, and they work for all business. It doesn't matter what business you're in or what business you want to enter into. The principles and the best remain the same.
Right.
And so,
absolutely.
You know, my husband always says there's not a secret to success. There is a system to success. And if you follow the system, you will always be successful. But most people were missing a couple of keys from the system. And then that's why businesses fail or they don't flourish, or because we haven't worked on the quadrant of what we have to work on, being our personal selves, our mental selves, our physical selves, our financial selves. There's many aspects of things that we need to work on to build this snowball, so to speak, that can get us rolling. It's one thing if you're good with money, but you're bad with people, or vice versa. So there are little things that you have to cultivate all around in order to be successful. Now, I can have the best business in the world, but if I have horrible customer service, nobody's going to come see me.
Right.
I could be selling the best thing ever, but if when people walk in that door, they don't feel welcomed and warm and don't feel like I tried to, they don't feel had when they've left, then I'm not going to have a successful business.
You're right.
If I have a successful business and I have a bunch of clients and I make people feel warm, but I don't know how to handle my books, or I don't know how to handle the money that's coming in versus the money that's going out, I'm going to have a problem. So unless you put all of those pieces together, owning or being an entrepreneur will not work 100% for you. You will only have a certain level of success. So you want to put all of these things together to get the ball rolling for yourself. And it doesn't take a lot. It's not a lot. It's not like, oh, God, I got to be on this system. I got to get everything together. But at some point, in order to lead, when you're an entrepreneur, you are leading others. That's just, as much as it doesn't seem like it, oh, I just have my own store, I have my own business. The fact is you are a boss. You are the one. You are the one in charge. You are the leader. So in order to lead people places, you have to have first gone there yourself. So
well, you know what?
Yourself, and
that's true.
And if you have not served, you cannot lead. So if you have never done some type of, so even my husband's never worked for another man in his life, but he has served another man for 17 years of his life. Right.
And it's important that you're mentioning that because people tend to look at the flash and all these things that they see other people having, but sometimes they really don't have them, But we know that you have to be faithful in a little so that you can be blessed with much.
Faithful in much. That's right.
So if you have a little business, hey, don't think of it as a little business because it is definitely a big business on its way up. And when you have that business that you treat like she was saying, your customers come in, they see you smiling, you greet them, you ask them in a non-intrusive way, let me know if I can help you. There's a difference in following people around because you think they're stealing and just asking them, letting them know what you have available, as far as your products or whatever, the big difference. But when you do those things, word of mouth is everything. They will tell their friends and they will tell their friends, and you, before you know it, will have grown into such a business that, man, you'll look back and be like, wow. So, what she's saying is true to you guys. It's definitely true. So what?
Chime in here.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Man, sisters, Sister, I just want to thank you for what I've heard come out of your mouth.
Thank you.
I'm serious, and I want to actually meet your husband. I would love to have him on our show as a part 2 to what you were your story, because you really are an example on some whole other levels, and your husband should feel very proud. And that's why I want to meet your husband, because of how you reference your husband the way you did.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, and that's huge. That's very humbling. You're a powerhouse within yourself, but you give honor to your husband. And that's something that I was listening to. I'm over here listening, and CC told me before we got on the show, I hope that you all the way up the whole show, because I'm usually tired and sometimes I might, nod off. But you, sister, what you said got me over here sitting up like, oh my God, this sister is on it, and I feel good. It feels good to hear a black woman, someone that's in business, talk about her husband the way you have. So I just got a spiritual. You connected spiritually with me. You connected with the business side. I mean, that's pretty well balanced what we're hearing, and I'm sure the listening audience, especially the men. I know the men that listen to this show is probably saying, "Man, that's how I want my woman to talk about me."
Absolutely.
That's a blessing, though. So definitely I would love to hear your husband. I just want to meet him, and then everything that what you said about the entrepreneur side of him, in terms of getting you to a point to where you don't even work for him. I mean, powerful. That's powerful. That's a love. That's love. That's the duty of love, to where he wants to free you, make you independent, but yet you still a couple. But he understands that you had your independence when you came into this world. So I don't want to take that away from you. You still have to be an individual, but yet my partner.
That's right.
And that's a very that was. I'm listening to that and I'm like, wow, this is deep. But I just had to chime in. I just was like, man, I got to say something. I didn't want to interrupt, but sister, I thank you for you gave more than what you even could imagine. I don't know, maybe but you gave a lot, and I really thank you for what you shared with us, for sure. And if you got more, and if you got time, if CC, I don't know what the time is looking like, but I mean, y'all can keep on going. I just had to say that.
Well, what you say is definitely true. It is wonderful to hear someone reverencing her partner as though he matters. I mean, that's definitely what you've done. He's an integral part of your life, and I guess it's safe to say that if you weren't with him, you'd be somewhere else. I mean, he definitely helped you build what it is that you're doing today, and that's wonderful. What we want to do is allow the listeners your information and how to get a hold of you. We're going to let you come back after commercial with some tips, but we've got 1 minute till commercial. So let the listeners know how they can get a hold of you, or the workshop that you're going to be teaching at, or just how to contact you about more information concerning what you do.
Well, I can be reached at TonishaDawson.com. That's TONISHA Dawson, DAWSON.com. My email for that is lovetherapies@gmail.com. And I also have a business line, 203-494-3244. And normally people just contact me through messaging, and, we end up scheduling. A lot of my clients are on the phone because some of them are not from here. I do phone coaching. I do emails. And I do interactive life coaching sessions. I try to do them once a month, but right now I'm on every other month, just so that I want to keep the buzz going for it. But that's basically all of my information. And obviously I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and it's all the same. Everything is Tonisha Dawson.
Okay, well, hold on, Miss Tonisha Dawson. We're going to go to a commercial. You're listening to BIB Radio, and we're housed on Black Talk Radio Network. We'll be right back after these messages.
Make Black Talk Radio your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
All right, everyone, we're back. Thank you for joining us for BIB Radio tonight. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time with new and fresh topics concerning entrepreneurship. We like to bring you wonderful guests, as we have tonight. We're talking to Miss Tonisha Dawson, and she has been just a breath of fresh air here, letting us know all what her and her husband are doing and just their entrepreneurial endeavors. I mean, we've just been blown away here. But what we'd like to do is, Tonisha, what last tips or information would you have concerning our listeners who are either new entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs, thinking about entrepreneurs, just all of our listeners concerning entrepreneurship? What would you like to say to them?
Well, first thing that I would say, which is of utmost importance, is entrepreneurship and any type of growth starts with your surroundings. So you don't want to have an ego mentality and you're hanging around chickens. Chickens don't fly. So you might have to change some of the company that you keep. You might have to change some of the people that you share your dreams with while they're in their incubation stage, because you don't want to miscarry your dream because people are imparting a negative seed next to your dream. So you don't want to do that. Secondly, I would just say just to get in touch with your inner self. Get in touch with the power that lies within you, knowing that you can do whatever it is that you set your mind to do. There is nothing and no one out here that can stop you but you. Doesn't matter if they're white, doesn't matter if they're black, doesn't matter if it's the race. We might have a stronger hill, a higher hill to climb, or a steeper staircase to go up, but we can always do it. There is nothing that is able to stop us from doing that. And then, I would say just to, when you work on, the company you keep, and then you work on your inner man and just realizing that power that you have, that there's nothing to stop you, invest in yourself. Invest in more education. Invest in motivational speaking. Invest in life coaching. I have a life coach that I see every 3 months just so that she can check me and make sure that I'm still on target with the goals and the things that I said that I wanted to do. Because while the helper is helping, the helper still needs help. So I have someone that I still go to, that I still, am accountable to myself. So you want to have that accountability, or even an accountability partner, just to make sure that you're staying fast to the things that you said and holding fast to the things that you say you want to do. It's easy for us to say, I want to lose that 20 pounds. And when that chocolate cake is in front of us, you need that person to say, didn't you say you wanted to lose those 20 pounds?
Right.
And not be afraid to tell you and repeat to you what you have emitted out into the universe. Because our words are power. So, and then that negative talk. Don't talk negatively about yourself, about others, about your dreams and your goals. Always stay positive. Try to stay in the most positive state that you can always stay in at all times. Because positivity attracts. Negativity repels. So if you're the one that comes in and everybody says, how's your day? And you're like, oh, Lord. Listen, people, when they ask, they don't really care. They're just asking to be nice. They don't want to really know. So here's the thing. That repels people. People run when they see you coming. So you want to stay in the most positive state possible because positivity attracts. It attracts good things, great things, positive things, energetic things.
Well, you know what? This must be true because this network, this radio program has attracted you. So we definitely are feeling what you're talking about. Oh, my goodness. Okay, keep going. Go ahead. You're going to say something else.
Oh, and then I'm like, and then what would be, one of the last keys that I would give would be just to have faith. Understand that the laws and the principles of the universe, they work. They work if we work them. So it's one thing to have a lot of faith and physicality, but you have to be able to put these things into motion. So if you say you want to do something, research it. Go look at it. If you say you want to own a business, go find out what it takes to have that type of business. Look it up. Do your due diligence in order to attract that thing to you, in order for that thing to be able to manifest for you. You can't say, I want to open a donut shop, and you know zilch about donuts, you know zilch about properties, you know zilch about running a business, and then you want to run it. You have to research it. Do your due diligence beforehand so that when it does manifest for you, you have the keys and the tools to make it work.
Absolutely. That is very important advice.
Have dreams and goals, but we've done nothing to get us there. We've done nothing to show us what this business can do, what it will make. We haven't researched the people that have done it before us.
Right.
Find a mentor.
Well, you know what I think, too, in all what you said, sometimes we're missing out the most. We don't write the vision and make it plain. We don't even write that down, you know.
Yes,
a lot of us miss that. You have to write that down so that you can see it, so that when you see it, you know that daily you need to walk it out. What steps are you taking toward making that manifest? You know, sometimes it's baby steps. Sometimes it's crawling. Sometimes it's little baby hops. But as long as you're doing it, it doesn't matter how long it takes, but it just matters that you're doing it. So, I mean, I definitely appreciate what you're saying to our listening audience. As a matter of fact, our next guest, she's coming on because she needs some mentoring because she would like to get out of the corporate world and open up her own business, and that is to be determined. But this is very powerful for her because she's on here listening very early, and I'm sure she's able to take some of these principles and apply them to her new journey. And Tonisha, we definitely appreciate the time that you've taken with us today, and we invite you to come back anytime, and we're happy to advertise your books and your services. And we also would like to offer you the opportunity to have your own radio program on Black Talk Radio Network. We definitely have space available for great minds like yours and your husband's.
Awesome. Sounds good. Good. But I have all of the information that I need. I have your contact information. So definitely connect and stay in touch. And then we can set that date for, my husband to come and share his story with you all.
Absolutely. Now, what is his name?
Timothy Dawson. T.W. Dawson.
T.W. Okay, that sounds important already. I'm excited. Okay. So I'm serious.
He is T.W. Dawson. And, that is, listen, when I tell you, you're going to be blown away by the power in his story. Absolutely.
Okay, Robert, last words for you.
Well, if you can stay on and listen to the rest of the show, maybe you can chime in with some questions or some answers, or some advice for the on, I mean, we welcome you to stay on the show. I mean, tune in. Just be you're a guest now.
Absolutely. Now, I will stay on as long as I can. It's 9 o'clock where I'm at, and my kids have to go to bed. But I will definitely stay on and listen and just see, what I can be of help, or even just to listen myself.
Well, let me offer you this, because I know how it is being a mom. You definitely do not have to stay on. This program is podcasted, and you can listen to it later on if you need to get to your children. That's most important. And then our guest here, she now has your information if she needs to reach out to you, which I'm pretty sure she will. So do not feel like we're holding you hostage here on the program.
Absolutely. Well, I totally just want to thank you guys for this opportunity, and I totally enjoyed myself just conversing with you guys tonight.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we will talk to you another time, ma'am. And you let us know if you need anything from BIB Radio or Black Talk Radio Network. We're here to help you as fellow entrepreneurs, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right. Good night.
Night.
Good night.
All right, everyone. That was Miss Tonisha Dawson. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity having her on the show. Now our next guest. Wow, this is an interesting night. Really, it really is. We had that dynamic first guest, but our next guest, unfortunately, she's not going to be able to come on. She just sent me word that her grandfather had a heart attack, so she's having to go to the hospital and be with him. I'm only assuming, but we're definitely still going to talk about her program, what she has going on, and I'll read her information again. Let's see here. So her name is Ebony Archer. And at the early age of 4, she started singing in her church, where a gift was discovered. And in the year 2000, Ebony joined Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago at the age of 8. With this group, Ebony had sung in front of audiences ranging in numbers and shared the stage with many famous names in the industry, such as Yolanda Adams, R. Kelly, Celine Dion, Nick Carter, and the list continues. In the year of 2001, Ebony Archer was featured in R. Kelly's video, The World's Greatest. In the year of 2012, Ebony was the runner-up in the national anthem competition for Black Girls Run. With over 40,000 votes, through the musical experiences, vocal training, and learning how to have great stage presence, it has molded Ebony into a gifted singer, and because of her inspiring voice, she is now known as the Inspirer. Okay, so we were going to engage in a conversation where we would talk about her upcoming event, February 18th, which is a nonprofit benefit concert for her birthday. Let's see here if I can pull up the information on that. Let me go into that information. Robert, are you laying on the phone? What is that?
Oh, no. I'm
I got to make sure you woke, because,
You better make sure. After that last guest, oh, wow, I'm just inspired. I love entrepreneurship, and I love positivity. And,
okay.
She had it both going on.
Okay, well, that is excellent to know that you're still with me. Let's see here, EBO. Like I said, I have to check with you. But yeah, I'm trying to find her. Let's see, trying to find her thing here. Let's see. Oh, here it is right here. Okay, so it says 2017 Ebony Archer and IBP presents the Evolution Birthday Concert, celebrating the 25th birthday of Ebony Archer. That's 25. I mean, that's just so hard to believe. She's the same age as my son, 25. February 18th, 2017. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 7:30. And it's called Refuge Live, and it's at 416 South Clark Street, and that's in Chicago, Illinois. It's hosted by Shatrina Webb, Maestro and Augusta, Gemini Porter, Aisha Marie, and the music by DJ Rated R. And there's somebody named Geronimo there too. You can purchase the tickets at www.inspiredbypurpose.online. It sounds like it's going to be quite the event. BIB Radio will be there covering the event. So if you would like to go, you can contact grandfinaleaffairs@gmail.com. That's grandfinaleaffairs@gmail.com. Again, the ticket purchase are at www.inspiredbypurpose.online. Beautiful picture of Miss Ebony Archer. We do have that posted in BIB in the flyer, so you all can look at it. So what we'll do now is we have one of her songs uploaded, and we are going to actually listen to that song. Scotty's going to play it. Are you there, Scotty?
And expectations changes over time. So why do you want to change the person that you see and allow the world to erase your identity? For I know it's hard to stay true to yourself, but why you want to change and be someone else? For the man above has something store for you. So when people come at you laughing, talk about you, just know it's not relevant. Just go and make a statement. I'ma be me, don't you see? I'ma be me, and no, I will never stop. I'ma be me, don't you see? I'ma be me, and no, I will never stop. We're promised to meant to gain a word, but loses the soul. What's inside of you, that is what makes you hard. For now it's time for you to stand up and lead, and time for you to walk in your destiny. For I know it's hard to stay true to yourself, but why you wanna change and be someone else? For the man above has something store for you. So when people come at you laughing, talk about you, just know it's not relevant. Just go and make the statement. I'ma be me, don't you see? I'ma be me, and no, I will never stop. I'ma be me, don't you see? I'ma be me, and no, I will never stop. I'ma be me, don't you see? I'ma be me, and no, I will never stop. I'ma be me, don't you see? I'ma be me, and no, I will never stop. I don't really care what you say about me, 'cause I know that I'm gonna be me. I don't really care what you think about me, 'cause I know that I'm gonna be me. I don't really care what you say about me, 'cause I know that I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me.
All right. That was Miss Ebony and her song, I'ma Be Me. Very, very positive music from this 25-year-old woman. God is doing great things in her life. She's doing wonderful things in her life. I mean, at 25, she's putting on events. Like I said, unfortunately, she couldn't be here with us tonight. Had an emergency in her family with her grandfather. We are hoping that everything goes well with that situation. I'll check back with her later. But that was her song, I'ma Be Me. That's one of her songs. So if you are in the Chicago area, definitely check out the event on February 18th. I think it'll be worth your while to check it out. Get some tickets. They're not expensive. Get some tickets and just for something to do. I would say that this is going to be a positive event. No drunkenness or craziness or anything like that. Just a positive young lady putting on a benefit concert. Just doing things, doing big things at 25 years old. That's what we like to see. Young entrepreneurs with a message that can help people underneath them. That's what we got to be about. So, Robert, what do you think about that song?
I love it. I don't care what people say about me. I'm gonna be me.
That's right. That's definitely you. That's gonna be your theme song. I'm gonna make that your ringtone.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's just you gotta learn to love you and all that makes up you, and be able to comfortably look in the mirror and love the man or woman in the mirror. For his or her perfectness as well as her imperfections. You know what I'm saying? So, we're a work in progress. And,
right.
as I said to somebody the other day, just be honest with yourself. That's the most important thing. Can you be honest with yourself? You know? And you don't worry about nobody else. Just be honest to self. If you can start being honest to yourself, then it's easy to tell the truth.
Right. Because I've heard somebody say, if you lie to yourself, then who can you believe? I mean, if you are lying to yourself, then who else could you possibly believe on this earth? I mean, my goodness, because we're honest with ourselves, whether it's inwardly or outwardly. But if neither exists and you can't be honest with yourself, then you just a walking bag of lies. And we've turned this into a counseling show, my goodness. But that's what we do. It's all about being entrepreneurs and speaking health even into your business. If you want to go.
See, entrepreneurship is not just about wealth in the sense of cash or money.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is greater than just that. That's the benefit of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
That's your reward for your spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is like it's to me. I'm looking at it and I'm in it, and I say that this is the greatest faith walk I've ever been in.
Right.
I mean, I've been to church, I've been to mosques, I've been to quite a few, grew up in the Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
But my true faith walk, truthfully, honestly, has come through entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm. And Scotty says entrepreneurship is not a business, it's a lifestyle. And I agree, it's a lifestyle of freedom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the faith of a mustard seed, first of all, you got to have that to believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, we move out on that without even having the correct information.
Right. Well, now I think Scotty's unmuted. He probably wants to talk. Scotty, are you there?
Yes, I think I left myself unmuted from playing that song, but I was just listening. But yeah, I look at it, it is a lifestyle. You know, for me it is, because, I mean, I spend more time working on this business than anything else, and it's like a lifestyle for me, but it's a lifestyle that I chose, you know, and it's a difference. I don't even feel like I'm working, y'all. I mean, I'm working,
Right.
but I don't feel like work because I love what I do.
Right. Right. And it shows, and it should. That's when you really have a great lifestyle. What do they say? If you do what you love, you'll never work another day in your life.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is you get a chance through entrepreneurship. You get a chance to really make manifest a lot of the teachings that the pastor, the imam, and those in leadership taught about. You actually get to walk it through. And if you really pay attention to go back into your mindset of some things that you heard from the pulpit or the rostrum, and then look at it and compare it to the life that you're living right now as an entrepreneur, you'll see that you really are walking in the footsteps of some of those great prophets that they speak of, because they walk by faith. And what we do is a walk by faith, along with a calculated formula that brings about a result. It can't be that we guessing. Even as I said earlier, that when we start out walking by faith, and then as you put that wheel into motion, once that motion starts pulling people in to you, that begins to start pouring the information into you that you did not have, which leads you to start researching, and from your research, you start getting actual facts, the correct information. But you don't have to wait and put all that together in the beginning. The energy alone, as the sister said earlier, she's right. You can will it into existence by your thinking. When you, not only by it has to be your thinking along with the actual motion. Once you put it in motion, and while you're in motion, your thinking is always on, man, I got to find out how to do this. Then you will attract that you are thinking about, that you desire. You will attract it. It's gonna come to you. It always happens like that. And I can bring that home by saying, the moment you say I haven't seen somebody, there they go the next day or so, man, I just thought you up. I mean, it never fails. So it's the same way once you actually set it in motion to do something for yourself, the doors of information opens up. You don't really know who or when the person is going to come and speak into. We just had somebody say that the other day. Matter of fact, at the culinary, when we were getting coffee, and we started talking about what we do, and the girls were saying, "We just said this, and here y'all come." You see, so this thing is not. It works for anybody. It's thought travels at a rate of speed. And I don't know the exact number, so I can't quote that, but these things are mathematical. So when you put a thought into motion, it actually literally comes to your doorstep, whatever it is that you want, whether it be positive or negative, as the yin and yang. I mean, so we have the ability to make things happen, and that's why I say about entrepreneurship, it is definitely the biggest faith walk that I've ever had in my life. I mean, I can say wow, all praise is due because of the many lessons, the many things that I've seen as a result of being an entrepreneur, the many people that I've helped, the burden of witness that the people that we help from our own walk of life, our lifestyle, and when they say things out of their mouth, that's like, man, I just didn't know what was going to happen, woo, 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 woo. And then they really confirming in us that we chose the right thing to do, and that is to be the entrepreneur, to follow our dreams, to pursue our happiness. And as you say, Scotty, this is something that I don't look at what I do as work. I don't go to the marketplace and always think about money. I can go and invest every dime that I got. Cece will tell you, I'm one of those kind of investors. I know I'm not gambling. When I take $2,000, $3,000 to go buy my merchandise, I don't want to come back with $100 in my pocket. I don't want to do that because I want to come back with all merchandise and sell it because I'm not gambling. It's not a gamble. It's a for sure win. So, I mean, this is a lifestyle. Once you get seasoned in it, you don't have to chase the money. You don't have to worry about the money coming. The money gonna come. It's just, I mean, you done put the mathematical formula in motion. You know the formula. You know what to do. You don't have to guess anymore. And I thank God, and the sister said it too. The God that's in you. Once you get acquainted with that, you got to thank God every day, for allowing you to be able to make a choice to say, I don't want to work for nobody else. And it goes from I don't want to I'm not going to. And it's not even an option. I used to tell myself every day when I first started, working for someone else is not an option. I don't care how hard it gets, it's not an option. If I don't make enough money today in my first 5, 6, 7 hours, I'm going to work overtime for myself. That's how I stayed in business. I would not consider a job. It never was an option for me. And
Okay.
I stayed true to that to this day.
Let's take our last break, Robert. Wonderful commentary. BIB Radio. We'll be right back.
The Black Talk Radio Network is made possible in part with help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. You are tuned in to Black Talk Radio, new black media for the new millennium.
All righty, everybody. We are rounding up the last half hour of BIB Radio. It's been a dynamic show. You just never know what's going to happen, but trust and believe something good is going to happen when you tune into BIB Radio here. We have great information for you here every week, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Share, call in, join our Facebook page, all capital letters, BIB Radio. You can find out what it is that we're doing, where we're going, and what is to come. But without any further ado, we need to bring on our last guest because she is one that wants to go ahead and make sure she is preparing herself for entrepreneurship. So she has decided to reach out to our show, and it's such an honor to offer our help to Miss Janelle Smith. So without further ado, let's bring her on now. Hello, Janelle, is that you?
Yes, it is. How are you doing?
I am so good. Thank you for joining us. We're on the phone. We're on the program with Robert 11X. He's there. Go ahead and say hi.
How are you doing, Robert? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Scotty's in the background.
Likewise.
You know him too.
I heard quite a bit about you, and I can't wait to hear more about you.
Thank you. And hi, Scotty. Yes, I know Scotty. I've spoken to him on several occasions. How are you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening to you.
And
okay.
I just wanted to take this time to say that it's people that I talk with like you, CC, like Scotty, who has inspired me to look at this and take this deeper look at this leap of faith. So I thank you both for that. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, you know what? It is our pleasure to help you do what it is that you need to do, because, you know, it takes a village to start a business sometimes, and we're willing to be your village, because with all of the skills and expertise that you have, you've been doing it for somebody else. Why not do it for yourself? It is high time that you do it for yourself. You've been powerful in all these other places. Let's help you do it for yourself. So I read a little bit about you, but you know, you sent me that long book about yourself. I'm like, okay, how do I pick and summarize from all this? I felt like I was in school and I needed to just really do some work, because your bio is so extensive, and that is a good thing because you know who you are, okay? So why don't you introduce yourself to our listening audience?
Okay, my name is Janelle Smith. Just a little bit on my background. I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, and I'll be a Flintstone for life. Joined the military. I was married, joined the military, and was in the Air Force for about a decade. Went to college, pulled all my degrees, my associates, my bachelor's, and my master's while I was in the military. Then I got out, and then I actually started working for Washington University. And each time that I left my occupations, I noticed, you know, it's just I consider it the same old rat race. You know, you deal with people. I love dealing with people, but I don't like dealing with wicked leprechauns. That's what I call them, wicked leprechauns. It's, you know, just the people that's in there that's playing the game and that kind of thing or whatever. You know, that's fine if, you know, you want to do that. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at the entrepreneur side, because I won't stab myself in the back. So, and just to taper from that, after I was in the military, after working at Washington University, I currently am a federal employee. And right now, with everything that's going on, them down, they're looking at cutting employees and everything or whatever. And then just workplace conflict scenarios with people, whatever. And then to just reach this pinnacle to realize that, you know what, although we have all of these laws, when you go through these issues and conflicts, you know, you realize that these laws are not here to protect you. These people are putting on a theater. It's a great show. And because of that, it's a great show for them. It's not a great show for me. So I'm ready to just acquiesce, take all my skills and invest in me. And it's time.
Absolutely. Now, because you say that, I mean, I know that you're ready to full throttle, just take this bull by the horns and do it. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of your skills. So what is it that you like to do? When you sit back and you think about your skills, what is it that you like to do?
I was listening to what you guys were saying earlier, and I actually thought about that. I was listening to when Scotty was talking about the mathematical, and the first thing I'm thinking comes to my head is that speed and velocity that comes to my head. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be able to feel that way, feel that whatever I'm doing is effortlessly, done effortlessly. So for me, what I love doing is I love helping and assisting people. I think I spoke with you. I've done resumes for people. I don't charge them a dime, and these are people that are actually getting jobs. So I'm batting pretty good. My average is good. I love just helping people navigate through things because I've actually gone through the process, whether it was in the military or working at a university or being a federal employee. I've gone through the process, and I know how to navigate ways and those, I always call those special words, because, you know, things are about wording and verbiage. And so because of that, I like to help people navigate through things, what I see as a tough system. And so if you have someone who, you know, have had past issues in workplaces, I like to help them to do their resume so it can be, reflective of a new start for them, that kind of thing. But mostly I love talking with people. I love helping people and just helping people to be better adults. I was listening to, I think, Miss Dawson, and just 100%, just, you know, how she is. It always keeps me inspired, because that's exactly where I'm at, and that's where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I sit back and see people in their levels in entrepreneurship, it's like you see that pinnacle, and it's like, that's where I want to be. You know, to hear her say, I've written several books, and I'm like, I would love to write one book.
Right.
And so, yeah, so that's kind of, you know, and as you see, I got skills that bounce all over the place. But what I loved was when I was in the military, I counseled and educated people. I worked public health. When I was at Washington University, I was a Lancaster care coordinator. I counseled and educated people. Right now, I'm an analyst, and that's what I do, educate and assist investigators. So,
Wow. I mean, with all those skills, it's crazy that you know how long we stay on the hamster's wheel. You know, that I'll just say that. It's just so comfortable to stay on a job, but then when you get sick of all the nonsense, then you have to really look at yourself and say, wait a minute, I know that I have the ability to work for myself. And I'm looking at Facebook right now as we speak. There's somebody on here, and he says, never work harder for someone else than you are willing to work for yourself. And I think that that's where you're at right now. Okay. Yep. So we talked yesterday, and I mean, your new life is a no-brainer to me, really, because you like helping people. So you just have to know exactly where that is. It doesn't mean that you're in one spot. You know, you just have to sit down and decide, how would I like to help people? You know, wherever it is that I've found the most success, not just monetarily, but, you know, just spiritually, just in helping people. Where have you found the most success? You know, the first thing that stands out in my head is ombudsman, an advocate. You know, you could seriously write up contracts and become an ombudsman in many situations. You've been a veteran. So what if you were a privately contracted ombudsman to help these veterans get the benefits that they so deserve because, you know, for some reason there's some red tape and they can't get through it or whatever. I mean, that would be an easy one for you. And then we talked about something getting you going. You love doing resumes. I mean, you said you like doing them for free, but I'm like, okay. What about donations?
Yes, and I received that message.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, because I'm like, that is powerful, because do you know how many people, even though they've gone to school and graduated and have degrees, they still are not comfortable putting things down on paper? You know, as far as resumes.
And as you see, I am.
Yes,
I sent you.
Yes, you are dynamic. Oh my goodness. But it would be so easy for you to take conference with people simply on the phone, get their information, and do their resume or bio. You know, for those that want to do a resume because they are working a job. The long and the short of it is there are people still going to work jobs, and why not make money from doing their resumes or assisting them, or even opening a nonprofit doing something like that, you know, some sort of training for youth or veterans that need to get back to working, veterans that want to be entrepreneurs. I mean, there's so many different directions you could go with this. But definitely new business people, need bios. You know, I don't even have a bio myself. I mean, because sometimes you don't really know how to speak of yourself. But new business people definitely need to put a bio together. So I think you could surely start out marketing yourself as a person that does bios. Also, of course, you could do freelance work on Fiverr and all of those. Let me see, what is the other one? There's a couple other ones that you could freelance on. We'll look at that later, but just know that you could do some freelance work and just make some serious money. I mean, totally make some serious money. How often are you doing these resumes, would you say?
I just kind of, when, you know, like word of mouth, whenever someone asks me. So far, I mean, within maybe a year, I've done 10, you know, and that's only because these are people that know me, you know, like, so I think like if I was to have charged or either, you know, put myself out there, I'm sure I can get double, if not triple of that, you know, but you know, I think for me, it was more of being able to kind of, you know, it's like I always look at it as if you walk in a store and they offer samples, you know, I get samples out so that, you know, and I'm talking about touching people in different places. I've done a resume that was in Flint, Michigan. I've done a resume that was in Missouri, you know, just different states. So to kind of, you know, put myself out there, you know, kind of giving samples out. And these are people that I know. So, yeah, it's just like, like I said, about 10. And that's within a year.
Well, that's wonderful because, you know, if you want to start out by giving samples, I mean, if that's truly how you would like to start out, like I said before, you know, at least solicit donations.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at now because I've given my samples out.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, if you were still wanting to do something like that, I would say, wow, what if you could work with the youth like at the library, show people how to put together a proper resume. You know what I'm saying? What if you could teach an online class how to put together a proper resume? That, or do it at the library system. You know, there's there's more library systems available to you because you live in Illinois. So if you did the library systems in Illinois and the ones in St. Louis, since it's so close, I mean, you could really be marketing yourself because we all know that you have to give out something for free in order to pull people in. At least that's what they say. And I tend to agree most times. But, I totally think that you could put this thing together since that's something that you know outright that you're ready to do. And that is what you've made time for. We could make sure that we market that. You know, we could totally put that together. Market it on Facebook, and you could be making money doing resumes and bios.
Yeah, and as you see, I think for me, you know, because how should I say this? I think the best way for me to say it is I'm pretty broad. I like to write. And so I think for me, I don't necessarily want to corner myself in with resumes. I want to make sure that I market myself broadly, and that's where, you know, experts like you and Scotty and everybody else could come in and kind of give me that, you know, that information or give me that knowledge, because that's what I'm always scared of is like, you know, putting myself in a corner and just becoming a one-trick pony, because I like you said, with advocacy, I love advocacy, but I wouldn't want to, you know, if I, you know, get painted in a corner as just doing resumes, that pulls away from, you know, my advocacy and the writing that I can assist with as well.
Right.
What's your opinion about that?
Well, I don't think you could ever paint yourself into the corner. I mean, because you're holding the brush. Now, if you decided to do that, then that would be you. But as Black people, we're multifaceted. So you never have to be. Matter of fact, you really can't just be one thing. I have a friend in Seattle, and it's so hilarious to me. He's a veteran, and I mean, it just blows my mind. He does all these things, and he makes money. He markets himself, but he doesn't consider himself in business. And I'm telling you, this man has like 6 businesses going, but he's not in business. He says, no, I'm not in business. He said, maybe one day I'll start a business, but I'm not in business. And it's like people just have these different ideas about what business is, you know, and a lot of time the motivation behind that is fear. But I'm going to tell you, because you have so many skills available, you could never paint yourself in a corner unless you did that yourself. Because I'm telling you, oh man, the resume is just where you're at right now because you've already started doing it. But like Scotty says, what about ghostwriting? And he says, helping people who want to write books. I mean, there's very easy formats now. If you want to write books, if you want to do things to make money, not sitting at a desk or whatever. But what I will do is we're gonna keep up with this. We're going to continue with this because, of course, you and I talk, but we want to continue with you and your journey off of the job. So we're going to continue this. But I want you to order the book, The Laptop Millionaire. Okay, so that's like your first homework assignment. Get that book, The Laptop Millionaire. And once you get that book, you'll start seeing yourself. You'll really start developing, because that book allows you to just really free think about all those things that are great possibilities to you.
Okay.
Robert, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, what kind of input do you have from Miss Janelle Smith here?
Well, Miss Janelle, what I will say for sure, that the CC that's talking to you right now, for what you're trying to do, she is the perfect coach. And I'm not just saying that because, we have a thing going on.
Stop. Ooh, Lord.
How do you just started something now?
Comic view.
But what I'm saying is, she's very, very, very knowledgeable and assertive in that area with that pen and the paper business. I mean, Cece is, a very, very, she's inspiring me to do more on that side of the business as well. And on the product side, that's where I do my thing. That's where I do my thing. But definitely, you got a great coach, TC. She's extraordinary coach. I mean, very, very sharp woman. I'm amazed at this woman. She is the infopreneur. I just have to give her the crown on that one.
Yes, she is. And it is her personality and just me and her conversations that inspired me. I'm like, you know what? I can do this. And thank you for, even just helping me to, get that faith. I think that's what it's really about, walking away from fear and walking closer to faith,
Absolutely. And I think that you're ready. Sometimes we think for years, I want to do this. But it's not going to happen. It's just like a bad relationship. You're not going to leave that thing until you're ready. People can tell you, girl, that man is a dog, or he's trash, or he's whatever. I seen him with her yesterday. But you're not going to walk away from that man until you're good and ready. So it's the same thing. You're not going to walk yourself off of that job until you're ready, until you're fed up, until you're like, dang, I can do bad here, but I'm going to do good all by myself. And you're just ready to go in another direction. And I feel that you're there, and you see what we're doing here. We're consulting. Clearly, with all of the skills that you have, you are a consultant, you're an ombudsman, you're a writer. There's so many things that is Janelle Smith. You're somebody's mom. You could write a book on that, raising your daughter. There's so many things. And once you get this Laptop Millionaire book, you're going to be like, wow, okay, your mind's going to be blown, and you're just going to really, really be inspired. And I would tell you, really spend time reading. And a lot of people discourage reading in your phone, but I don't, because reading to me is reading. As long as you're feeding your mind, it's not trash. You're feeding your mind information. Of course, there's audiobooks too, but really read what people are doing, read trends in entrepreneurship, study different areas of entrepreneurship. That's what we do here. I have several things that I would like to put forth, but I've got to do research. Volunteer your services in research. We've done that with Miss Gerald, so you've done that. You could be a researcher. You're a researcher now. There's so many, there's so many things. It's like, wow, there's no way that you can't do this. There's no way. You could do this with with 2 arms tied behind your back and a blindfold. I mean, that's how good you are already, I know. Okay. So
Thank
you
you.
can do this. So your homework is get that Laptop Millionaire book. We're going to continue this conversation. And I think what we would really like to do is follow you either once a month or once every two. No, we're going to make you accountable. We're going to follow you once a month and find out what type of progress you've made. So you are now a part of this show, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So just get ready, because every month you're going to be on the bottom of the hour talking about your progress. So it's time to write that vision and make it plain, as we said before. I am so happy to help you with this, and we're going to do this for real. Believe it or not, people.
Thank you.
Janelle and I have not even met in person, and she only lives a little while away, so we got to make that happen too. We're gonna have some tea or cake or something, and just really make this thing happen. But Janelle, any words that you have for our listeners out there?
I think just what I said earlier, just, walking away from the fear and the fear of failure, and being able to put yourself in a position that if you do, drop your plate and your plate break, just make sure that you're ready to pick up the pieces or find another plate and just move forward to faith. That's all.
Shoot. Oh, that was that's advice from an entrepreneur right there. Not in the making. She's already an entrepreneur. Y'all look out for her. Robert, you got any last words?
Yes, and find a black-owned business. This is part of your assignment too, sister. Find a black-owned business in your community. Commit your money, mind, and heart to their success. Blacks in business.
I will do that. I will do that.
I so appreciate you for letting us help. Thank you for helping us round off this first year anniversary show. Happy birthday to me. Ooh, I'm 43. Okay, everybody.
Yes.
So we will see you next week. Listen to us again next week at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, this same time. We love you all. We'll talk to you again next week. Thank you for joining us here at BIB Radio on Black Talk Radio Network. Good night.